I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. So, Dad, did you guys ever occur to you? So we're all sitting in a street corner, right, waiting to cross the street.
Apparently, it's the street corner. Gotcha.
Me and you,
Yep.
and like it's some Asian people.
Asians.
Okay, so we're sitting there, and like, did it ever occur to you that before we could cross the street, we all got to wait for the white guy?
I always say that. I always
Seriously?
say that. White man says walk.
Yeah. See, like, what's up with that? Why
let's
is
do
a white
that again,
man
let's do
say
that. That was
white
hilarious.
man? You got to wait for the white man to say. And why when it's like time to stop, it's got to be like the red hand.
Right. Like Trail of Tears, just.
But I have an answer for that.
Oh, let's go for it.
Because if you waited for the black guy, and if like black guy turned off, like people would die because you wouldn't see it because it's not a light.
Yep. That too, he would also be late. Like he would say stop, it'd be like 25 seconds, it would stop halfway through.
That's great.
He'd be like,
Is that
deal
what
with
happened?
your own shit, you know.
It's time to walk.
Oh man, and then you'd have the white person being like, whoosh, whip him like back and
That's terrible. Okay.
It is terrible.
Okay,
It's fucking terrible.
So is that,
We don't condone racism.
we don't. We just killed it. We just killed racism.
We ended racism right now.
It's done. It's done.
I don't know if you feel that,
I'm not waiting
but-
for the white guy anymore to cross the
Right?
street. That's bad. We are off the cross the street plantation, folks. We are off the plantation.
I cross when I want because I have freedom.
That's right. They call it jaywalking.
Right?
I wonder why they call it jaywalking.
I don't know. It's probably
I think our studio audience is out of control.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. So should we do? I'm going to pick
It's
another
going to be a
one.
black one, so you should pick.
It's going to be a black one. It's on white paper. Is that offensive?
Of course it is. Why
Okay,
do they
good.
have white ink on black paper? Why does everything got to be white?
Did
Anyway.
you say white ink on black paper?
Yeah, they should have that. White ink on black
Then
paper.
then you guys would be bitching. We're like writing all over you.
Fair.
You're like, why?
White man writing his laws, another black.
Exactly.
It would be worse.
All right, I love
I
it.
don't know.
All right, what is this? A software developer. Are you a software developer?
Apparently I am. That's what
You just
happens
got
when
like, apparently there's like a random question.
Yeah.
A software developer that does electronic voting, what does scare you? Does it scare you?
Absolutely. So a little plug myself, I actually have some software I've developed called Covenant Trader for those who love cryptocurrency. Oh, sorry, over here. Those who love cryptocurrency. If you're more risk adverse, maybe you went through the crypto market for years, haven't quite made a profit yet, you can go to covenanttrader.com, sign up, and this thing will just trade for you. Super simple and easy. So that's my software, that's my plug.
Love it. So you develop software?
I developed software,
Okay.
yeah. Built it myself from scratch. And I must say, with everything I had to go through, every troubleshooting, every kink, noticing stuff in crypto, with every exchange that's been hacked, like all this stuff going on, as a software developer, I would not want to see electronic voting. Because I'm sure there are a plethora of ways someone can hack a system, fake the votes, change a 1 to a 10 to 100 or something. I mean, I'm sure there's going to try ways to being secure and make sure the votes are coming in, but there's 1,000 different ways to hack something. And I mean, if you want to talk about trying to get away from any sort of fraud, you want to try to get away from, it's like you look at a world that can just be totally screwed up. And yes, there's the idea of, things are simplified, right? I can just go on my phone and vote. Well, someone can easily copy that vote as a signature, and then I don't have the technicals on it, but
Wait a second, you're
let me
the technical
stop before
guy.
I get all
Yeah,
into it.
yeah,
right?
wait.
Like there's so many layers in terms of encryption.
I think you have the technicals. The question is whether you got the English stuff.
The words and blah, blah, blah.
The words.
It's probably
the words.
this. Point being, shit could get fucked real quick. So, and no one could really know or trace it or find ways to hide your tracks. And then you're talking like if there is a hack or some sort of disturbance.
But like, but they have systems where you can tell if a field changed.
Sure.
Yeah, another immutable sort of like what changed and when it changed, right? So technically you can protect it that way, right?
But then you can fake that thing that says, this is not mutable or this has changed. You can fake literally an entire web page and have people sign in. So you can fake entire systems, you can fake all sorts of stuff. So unless you have safeguards on safeguards on safeguards to back it up, you're basically at the mercy of your system, assuming no one's gonna be, messing it up. And then with all the, Russian stuff going on and everything, so like.
Is there Russian stuff going on?
Apparently there's Russian stuff
okay.
going on,
All right. Like, who do Russians want? Who does Putin want to win?
Whoever's gonna give them the best deal, so probably Trump.
all right, Putin. Okay,
Good
cool.
old Putin. But
So I don't know. Look, to me, I mean, you're a technical guy, so I'm not going to compete with you on that one. It's just like so logical to a non-technical person that people like find a way to like, even if it's not in your phone.
Yeah.
Because not all electronic voting means it has to be from your home through the internet, through a network. It could be just not punching a freaking, not a punch card with a hanging Chad.
Yeah.
Because like it's just as bad if you're disenfranchised by a hanging Chad.
Yes. Hanging Chad. I mean, I'm a black person. You're talking about hanging, but I'll let that slide. So,
I love it. That's great. Does that still sting? Is there still a sting from that?
I mean, it may have been a couple hundred years.
Jesus was hung, so I just figured,
Right.
that was like a long time ago.
But like, he chose to do that. A lot of black
Wait a
people did not
second.
choose to
He
get
chose to be that?
He chose to go on the cross. He didn't.
Did he?
A lot of black people didn't choose to get hung. They were just trying to go home from whatever and lynching party. So
I love it. Okay. It's good to know, man. There's like a million ways to get educated. You just did it right there.
Oh yeah. There's everything can go back to slavery. Everything.
Let's should we bring it back? I love it. It all goes back to the boat. So let's let's hope.
Speaking of boat, wood, box. Hey, look at
Yes, let's do it. So if you were gonna hack an election, hack a vote, hack election, electronic voting, what would you do?
Sure. So I'm not an expert in this, but straight off the bat, I would target the weakest people, those who are less tech savvy. So I would look at anyone who's older, definitely avoid millennials, definitely even, I would say probably baby boomer generation as well. You can create a fake page. You can just, if you have a URL, you can have just change one or two letters or make a subdomain name. And so people can think that they're at the right website. And then I remember reading something about essentially building an iframe that mimics, again, another website. So if someone's not more attuned to what's going on, they'll think, oh, I'm on the proper page, put in whatever vote and such. And then you could just take the results, you take their name and their information, but you tweak the results as you want and then pass it on, to the actual sites and everything, however they're tracking it in. If you wanted to be much more elaborate in your hacking, I mean, if you want to be bold, you could do denial of service attacks. It's DDoS, I forget the first D is, but you can do that on like whatever, again, the voting websites are going to be. So basically you have all these fake, machines that go into the website and they shut it down. So people can't actually access it on the day of voting.
That's kind of like buying Burning Man tickets the day the tickets go on sale.
Pretty much, probably. Or like Hamilton tickets when they first came out, right? Just,
Like, guys, you got it.
no one can get it.
You got it.
So you just fill it up. You can even create fake profiles. I don't know what they're doing for voter verification, but I mean, as much as you can fake passports and all the digital, you can fake the digital signatures and things like that across the gamut. So you can have like, even if you're not doing extensive with it. So let's say you want to have a vote of a particular state go a certain way, and maybe you only need like, I'm just throwing out numbers, 1,000 or 2,000 people, or even 10,000 out of, let's say, like hundreds of thousands. You can create all those fake profiles and just slightly push things one way or the other way and go probably generally undetected. So
if you want to hack an election, hire Dave Dunn.
and I'll give you ideas.
Yes, exactly. There we go. That's good. Thanks.
So,
thanks for the tips.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're already hiring hackers to try to prevent it, but I'm wondering, like, with the climate of everything going on, like, how secure things are going to be. So it's just do the hanging Chad thing,
I should just steal your mail-in ballot instead.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Good. Glad we talked about this. Yeah. So
Wild West stuff.
what about the next thing in the box? What do we got?
Speaking of Wild West, not at all. Reparations.
Why do you get that question?
More black questions.
Why do you more black questions?
Well,
it's like we had a black guest on the show or something.
I know, right?
I mean, I had no idea because life's like a box of chocolates.
Right.
Look what I got today.
You do see a black guy, hide your wallet, hide your keys.
Exactly.
Stuff. No.
What do you think about reparations?
What I think about reparations is, see, I'm definitely for them, but here's why. Because the slave owners got reparations.
What does that mean?
That means the slave owners got what's called economic reimbursement for losing slaves after the slaves were set free, but the slaves didn't. So messed up.
So how do you do that?
Well, actually, there's a to get a little bit serious now, right? There's
we only need to be half serious.
Half serious. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, slightly more leaning back.
We can't be completely serious. That's impossible.
There's actually a committee being put together in, I believe, Texas that are starting to look at how to even practically go about reparations. But right, so if you were a slave owner, let me just make it weird. So if I was a slave owner owning
clearly
black
I was
slaves,
not born at that time, so I couldn't be. So, yeah.
And so my slaves were let go, and I got, oh no, right? Because I have less crops, less whatever. Government's like, oh, here's some money because you don't have slaves anymore. But they didn't give the ones who did the work the money. So that's where it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't that have been a great idea, like right after slavery?
That was kind of the idea, but we go back to racism in this country is so embedded that they How long did it take for them to look at black people as more than 2/3 of a person? You know?
Was there like a time where like you are now 2/3?
It was pretty much like, like stroke of midnight, Gandalf coming with the white, just like you are now full people.
No, but when were you 2/3?
When was I 2/3?
No, like when were black
Probably
people,
in the womb.
Did they go for like? Did they start at like not people to like get half people?
To like more than
right. Then were they like you're half a person now?
Right. It was pretty much okay. So I'm not a historian.
And if you're so much person now and so much
Right.
less just black people now,
Yeah.
like why reparations now?
Now, because why not?
Why
Come on, man.
So why not?
With the pandemic and stuff, we need the money, man.
Is that what just hit them up, right?
Like,
Hit 'em
the
up.
bank account's kind of low. Hey, reparations.
Yeah, exactly. All right. It's like, who do you hit up?
The government. The man.
Oh, you hit the government. You hit the man.
The government, the man,
So you get the government, you figure it out. So it's more handouts in a way, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a good idea. I love that. I love that. That's a good idea. I love that you just said that. That's awesome. Okay. So you're like, yeah, okay, sure. That sounds good. Okay.
But,
I mean, we got EIDLs and PPEs, and we should get some reparation relief.
Tack it on, man. Just tack it on. We're tacking on. Our debt's going higher. Might as well get something from it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Hey, everybody's out for their piece.
Yep. Thanks, China.
Yeah, thanks, China. Yeah, exactly.
Here's more America. Give us more money. So here's more America. So,
Wow, that was deep shit.
Yeah.
And not all at the same time. It was awesome. Yeah, baby. Here, I'm gonna do this one just to try and avoid another race thing because you keep picking the race.
The race card, right? Because that's what I got.
Does the government matter to you? Oh God.
Jeez.
Well, apparently it does because you want reparations. Watch out what you say, right?
I'll take them, but I ain't waiting for them.
Okay. Does the government matter to you?
Oh, the audience going crazy. I would say as a more libertarian type of person who doesn't really enjoy oversight, can kind of manage themselves and kind of figure their own shit out. No, not really. Although, that's funny, I talked with a friend the other day, and it's like if there was no government, companies like Amazon and stuff would like go even more crazier. So I'm like, there should be some regulation. So they don't go back to the Industrial Revolution or pre-Industrial Revolution, right? Where they're working every single day of the week.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I think
some government, but by and large doesn't matter a lot. Like not big government.
Mm-hmm. Like if someone needs the structure in their life, like I don't, then yeah. You need someone to tell you what to do? Government. If you don't, leave us the fuck alone.
Can you have like a checkbox where like you can opt the government into your life? You're like, I need some more governance. To be like the libertarians could like uncheck the box and save 20% in taxes or something.
That'd be nice.
Wouldn't that be good? And like, yeah, liberals who like want all the handouts could just pay for the liberals, and then the conservatives could be like, I'll earn my own fucking money, so they can all save the taxes, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, same question to you though. Government important?
I don't know. I mean, it's like I was never that political in the sense that I was like, I guess like you, I always felt that like government should stay out of your way and out of your life for the most part. And like we should have law and order. I mean, there should be like basic things in society, but
I should feel like I could go outside and not get stabbed.
like I think a good day in the world is when you're going through your life and you don't have to acknowledge that government is there.
Yes.
Like, right?
Well said.
Like you don't have to interact with government.
Just be quiet, big brother. Right.
Yeah, I can go to Walmart. I don't see government. I could go, get my latte and not have to deal with government.
Right.
That would be a really good day.
That'd be a funny sketch if it was the opposite, where you just had to like, I don't know.
It was all government.
All government all the time.
I would be in one queue waiting like around the block for like government workers that would never get to the next person.
Man. Yeah, it'd be like Walmart.
You never get to the second store.
No.
That'd be like a nightmare.
That would be horrible.
I think that's like healthcare, like the government healthcare. Like
Yes.
Obama, what is it? Healthcare for all, or whatever they call that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So government, it doesn't really matter much.
Ugh.
Okay.
No,
I
thank
can see there's a lot of love for the government.
Oh yes, oodles and oodles. To my friends in the government, thank you.
We love you.
We love you, not your jobs.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Should we do another one?
I think so.
Thank God we got a big box because we're just like cutting through them.
We're just burning.
We're gonna have to make up topics.
I know. Oh shit.
Okay. It's like random. What are you laughing at? What did you hit another black?
You read the question.
Wait,
got.
did you hit another black one?
Of course I did.
Oh, what's actually racist to you?
I think racism is a feeling of superiority, whether subtle or overt. with the idea that my culture, my ideas, my skin tone is somehow a little bit better, fancier, worth more while than someone else's. And even if it's the subtle, like, oh, that's nice, but you stay over there and I'm gonna stay in my little ivory tower. That's racist.
So, like, let's say a white person doesn't like that particular black person. Racist?
Yeah, of course not.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
But seriously, no. I mean, if it's a particular black person, is
Right.
it because a person's black or is it because they don't like that person?
Well, no. I set the fact pattern in this case. In this case, they just didn't like that particular black person.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, because then that's not racism.
Because it's not a feeling of superiority.
Exactly.
For your part.
For
So,
the
like,
race, anyway.
wait, is there any way for a white person to not like certain black people and not be racist? I'm just wondering.
Don't say it out loud.
Okay, just don't say it. Just be it. Don't say it.
Exactly. Just
God, I just don't like the dude.
Right.
Just like don't like the dude.
You know, I mean, that's honestly, let's be honest. Like, that's where most of the problem comes in is when a white person says something. Just shut up. Shut up.
Is that like the song "Say Something, I'm Giving Up on You"? It's like, oh shit, the dumbass white guy said it again.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but like, okay, but like, you know, so is there a double standard there?
I mean, for right now, yeah, because it's been so imbalanced. So, I mean, like, right, anything. Pendulum swing. You go so far this way with,
Right.
everything black people had to do to even just get a voice in this country.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, there's going to be this extreme where it's like, Black Lives Matter, and someone will say, all lives matter. Yes, they all matter, but don't say that right now. Just shut up, stop trying to defend yourself, and just go, okay, smile, nod, and just sit quiet if you have nothing good to say. Because then once that finally swings down to people feel more calm, they don't feel like they're trying to compensate for lack of something, then yeah, we can say all lives matter and look at all diversity and stuff.
So you would like want people to like self-censor speech?
Yeah, just out of sensitivity of like, okay, if you're a white person...
Do you want people to be sensitive?
Considerate. That's a better way to put it. Considerate.
Yeah, but who gets to set who's considerate? If anybody can be sensitive, right? Everybody's like sensitive off the charts right now.
Yeah,
it's like well, it's like everybody's on PMS like all the time.
Right.
It's like
there's sensitive, there's considerate. There's snowflakey, like you said something, versus like maybe it's the empathy, right? Like maybe I don't actually know what that person's gone through, right? When George Floyd got killed, a lot of white people saw a black man get killed. I saw cop brutality that every one of my family members went through.
Was Floyd the guy who's like, I can't breathe, that dude? Okay, just making sure. He's like the guy,
I mean, he wasn't wearing a mask, so I don't know what his problem was, but...
That's right.
You know, but...
Asthma.
Again, be a little more...
It's asthma, I'm just saying.
It's asthma.
It's asthma.
Inhaler.
Well, he couldn't breathe. It's just what happens with asthma.
Not an inhaler. Kill him.
There you go.
You know, but... yeah, like, again, white people saw another black man or whatever getting killed, but black people and Mexicans and everyone else, they saw all their family members get harassed by the police. They saw every story. They saw themselves in that situation.
Right.
And so a lot of white people don't have that empathy. So they want to come and say X, Y, and Z. And even if it's true, whatever, it's like, it's not your time, bro. Shut up. Just shh. You don't have the empathy.
Wait a second. Stop it. But can't like black people have white people empathy too? Like, can't it go both ways?
Oh, yeah,
because
for sure.
they're ignorant. They don't know any better. There's dumbass white people. I mean,
right.
It's like, come on, you know, like they don't have the life experience to empathize, and truth is perspective. Like, in other words, I would say truth is what you see. People think what they see is truth, and that's what I mean. It's a matter of perspective.
Right.
Because in the Floyd thing, everybody sees when you're talking about everyday flashback of the moments of when you see yourself in that situation.
Right.
It was in that situation where he can't fucking breathe.
Right.
You know, but what other people see is on the other side of the car, completely different perspective.
Right.
Where he was completely violent with the police.
Sure.
And, you know, they were threatened.
Yeah.
So, and then they see a violent black man, yet another violent black man who didn't listen to the cops.
Sure.
Right?
Sure,
and,
right.
and like, one perspective can't be hierarchical to the other. Can't be that black people are right when they see that, and white people are wrong when they see another, like the whole community bitching about another black guy. The guy that didn't listen when the cops said, "Put your hands up and stop fighting."
Right.
And so the interest, can't they both be right?
Well, the answer is yes, but then it goes back to consideration. I would say not sensitivity, but consideration of like, okay, look at all the times that a black person had to struggle. There's all the systemic racism and everything going behind it. It's one thing if black people were also equal to white people and also equal to every other ethnicity, like across the board. Like, they are, but they're not in this country. So, like, if that was a fact, then okay, yes, it's another escape. You can write off that black man as, like, being an idiot or whatever, right? But then...
Well, what I was saying is, can they both be right? Not. I'm trying to understand, can they both be equal?
Yes.
Can that perception of there's another guy who didn't listen to the police, who was belligerent and fought them and put them in a dangerous situation, they could be right at the same time as black people be right when they're saying, yeah, this is another circumstance of police brutality, and like, in other words, both parties can be right. There doesn't have to be a hierarchy of empathy where like one party has to empathize more than another just because, like, isn't that like not fair to expect more empathy out of the opposite race to make up for the past, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, as a person who believes that, yes, we should all value different perspectives, look at everything and like, okay, let's just come together and work this out. Yeah. But when you look at the history of it, it's sort of because that history of oppression has been for so long. So even though in this particular instance, yeah, there's a right and wrong, but that's what's being sparked.
Yeah,
and
but
because,
you could say that, but half the country actually fought to get rid of slavery, and those were white people. So there's a bunch of white people actually fought for black people that, like, I don't know what they're going to, they don't have like an extra box. They're like, I'm going to pick up some extra empathy because, you know, I need a little bit more than the black people can have for us. Because they were the ones that fought for it. So, you know, that's why I kind of feel like, is there an empathy hierarchy and where are they supposed to get it anyway? Most people are just ignorant white people, you know?
Yes. This is also part of the problem.
I didn't say it. It's part of it's bound to be. Is there any way to fix that anyway? I mean, the fact is, like, white people didn't live the black people's struggles.
Right.
And you could read about it, you can hear a story, you can like know a black guy, or you can even hang out with a bunch of them. Point is that they didn't live the struggles.
So I think the best solution would then be just support the black people in what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. Recognize that, oh, I don't understand that world, but clearly there's something going on I don't get, so let me just help them.
So you're not married, are you?
I am married.
Oh, you are married?
I'm married to a white person, actually.
Are you?
I am.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I love it. Caramel kids, baby. Yeah. All right, hybrids. I got hybrids. I got married to a Chinese, and they're lovely hybrids. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. So, okay, well, you just made a statement that you should just like empathize with what like they're trying to accomplish, but you understand that like if you ever had an argument with your partner, your wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you said I was beautiful earlier, so I was like, you never know. David Dunn. I mean, we're done here. So
a little too much of this.
Cheers.
Everybody.
Yeah. So you have an argument with your wife. Like, there's a few ways to make the point, which is to share, express,
right.
or hit her upside the head with a baseball bat and say, "Bitch," you know.
You could always do that, right?
You know, and that just doesn't work. So like when like black people are pissed off and they go like hit all these businesses up, like, "Bitch, I'm done with you. Fuck white people.
It's mostly white
Kill
people
the police,
writing.
right?
Yeah.
You know, pigs in blankets or whatever they were. Pigs in blankets. Fry them like bacon? Is that what it is?
I don't know. That's wow.
Okay.
That's
well,
hilarious.
you know, there's certain things you can be empathetic for, and there's certain things that just the message is not going to land.
Right.
And like people see like the reaction as violence.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to land. I just hate to tell you, you don't do that to your wife. You're like, you should understand me. Like, you should have empathy. It's like abuse isn't going to do it.
Right.
And so, you know, I was always baffled because, you know, there's a whole thing with Black Lives Matter, which, by the way, feels confused to most white people. Like, they don't know what the fuck that means. But, you know, and then there's, like, white people, like, fighting cops over Black Lives Matter's messages, and they don't know what the fuck it means. And, like, and black people I see are out and they're like, what's that crazy bitch doing? You know, they're like, she's over there, like, yelling at a cop. And it's a black cop, which is the irony of it.
Yep. It's all fucking retarded right now. Don't get me wrong. It's retarded.
It's pretty retarded, isn't it? So it feels like all confused. Like, everybody's, like, really confused.
Everyone's just angry and hurt, and some people are like, I get a free PS5, right? So
Yeah, they drive through a crowd, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right. Again.
That makes a lot of sense. So, you know, like if based on your perspective, like I've heard this point that like Black Lives Matter, and then somebody says all lives matter, and then some black person would say like all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And we're like, wait a second. But if what you're saying is true, is like white people have still got a little privilege going on, then like actually black lives can't matter until white lives matter, because you need white people to understand to take them along and like have a little empathy. You know what I mean? And so like, don't both sides gotta hear each other?
Right. And that's part of the issue. I mean, that's the huge thing. Not saying. Okay, first, I don't represent Black Lives Matter. This is just personal, whatever. So like, just to clarify, right?
yeah.
I don't take sides. Like all this shit's
good.
retarded.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
right. So it's like black people are saying, "Hey, stop killing us because we're black." White people are like, "What are you talking about?" And then they get killed. Black people are like, "Hey, you should really stop killing us because we're black." Hey, please stop. And then they're like,
Does he just anybody see your sock puppets
Let's
going
do
on?
it,
Right? But wait a minute.
Stop killing us. Then
Can I
they're
tell
like,
you?
we're gonna start trashing shit.
Do you have white people to talk to you about this though? Or
Yeah.
not really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what I hear is it's not like white people are like, what are you talking about? It's like actually white people saying, please show me a video where the black dude didn't like pull a gun or a knife on the cop and like refused to like put his hands up. Okay, if you show me that video when he died,
Yeah.
I'm good, man. That cop's got to go to jail, like for life.
Yeah.
But like they don't show that video. They show the black guy that's like belligerent and like fighting the cop and trying to kill the guy, and then they're like, yeah, but he killed the black guy in the end. Racist. Like when it's a black cop and the guy trying to kill him. So like we can't comprehend that shit. I'm telling you, like
Fair
white
enough.
people can't comprehend that shit
Because,
because you don't
yeah.
see the white guy dying.
Exactly.
You don't see the
Ever.
white, but you don't see the white guy that fought the cop that died either. Like in other words, we just don't see it.
Exactly. And that's the problem. We don't see it. But then
Yeah,
the
we don't
black
see
people-
it.
we know from our history of like KKK, how many family members were lynched, killed, just trying to go to church or whatever, and all of a sudden get their balls cut off. Like,
Did they?
Oh yeah. Oh, they got castrated. Like freaking
Really?
hell. Disgusting.
Wow.
And these white people in hoods rioting in their violent ways to try to kill, and they're just trying to be people. Like there's parts of Alabama, Louisiana, I still can't go to. Just look like,
Really?
and if I brought my wife with me, oh no.
Still?
No. I'd be.
Okay,
For
wait.
sure.
If you're tuning in from Alabama right now, just put a comment down there. Let me know.
Right.
If David Dunn walked down the street, would he be done?
Would
Or
you stop kissing your sister to attack?
That's right. Or would his testicles be still intact?
Right?
That's the question.
Yep.
And if he did make it across, if Dunn made it across the road in Alabama,
In the swamp, actually.
across the swamp,
Deep South, no, would never.
would it be a sign of progress, social progress? That's the question.
Or would I have been real lucky that day?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fascinating because these people, but we're not people aren't talking to each other like most people would be afraid to even mention anything like we're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's
And
crazy.
it's sad because then
Because it's dumb. Like, why does it even have to be polarizing? It's like we should just be able to talk about it. It's not even. I don't even know why that's a like taboo topic.
Exactly. And see, if we talk about this and everyone gets to know and then gets a joke about it, and then it's like, oh wait, all lives really do matter.
Yeah, they kind of do, and yeah, it's
Kinda.
okay. Yeah, they kind of do. They kind of, yeah.
Mine's more important, but yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Bastard. Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, that's great.
So, I mean, but then we're taught not to talk about religion. We're not taught to talk about politics. We're taught to be sensitive. Someone said this word, it's funny. They stopped saying master bedroom in real estate.
Because
all
what?
the black people, because of the word master.
Because masturbation starts with master?
Right? And
I'm just wondering.
Catholic churches, ugh, so.
Really?
No.
No, why do they stop calling it master bedroom?
Because the whole like master slave thing. And all the black people are like, that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, dude, I was
We don't
pissed
care
when
about
I
that
was
shit.
so pissed when Aunt Jemima came off the road. I loved Aunt Jemima. I thought she was great. I'm like, wait a second, look, I'm half Jewish. I was raised Jewish, and they have things like Jewish got big nose, and they eat bagels, and there's like all kinds of bagel places that have Jewish names, and I'm thinking it's a stereotype, right?
Yes.
What the hell's wrong with Aunt Jemima? Like nobody looked at Aunt Jemima like, I'm not buying that shit. It's black.
Right.
like I don't get it. That's like good fucking syrup. Like if you had Aunt Jemima, that's the best corn syrup ever.
Corn syrup for sure.
Well, it ain't maple, but it's something.
Yeah. It's something.
It's my aunt. Jemima's good.
And that's where the lines get fuzzy, right? Like that's why in black culture we would make fun of that. But it's that there's a Jim Crow law.
Like there's a chicken and waffles place, and it's
But
like
it's made by black people.
of course. And it's
think
great.
so.
It's chicken and waffles. You go there because it's part of culture. Like
Exactly.
it's also learning about culture.
So it versus like what a lot of people did, there was a mockery of black culture and their stuff, right? The blackface and the yada yada. So that's where a lot of that pain comes from. Is like instead of giving the black people opportunity, they just took it. We like this part of your culture, but not you. So we're just going to take that and make money on it.
Yeah, but why don't black people do whiteface?
Well, they did in 30
I'm
Rock.
just
It was
saying.
hilarious.
Wouldn't it be a good test? Like go to Alabama, do whiteface, and be like, I fit in now. I
Like,
don't
are
know.
you a mime? Get the Frenchie out of here.
Exactly.
And then be a whole other thing. He's French and black.
Are you French?
No. Part English, actually. The slave, his name was Henry. He came from the UK and escaped.
Love it. Okay.
So, but see, all black people, we have slave stories. And it's like, how many other cultures?
Does your family have slave stories?
I mean, like I just shared the one. Because my dad's from Louisiana, and so they traced it back.
Bayou.
Not the Bayou.
Wow. Okay. Got
Some
it.
Bayou. Ooh, I don't know that family.
All right. Well, anyway, you ate a lot of etouffee and stuff like that, and beignets. No
had some beignets. My dad moved out when he was 10. I had good old hamburgers and.
I went to New Orleans and gained like 5 pounds in 2 days. It was bad. It was bad. I'm like, I'm not going back there. That was
smell
bad.
the air. You gain like a thigh.
Yeah. It was bad news.
Yeah.
That's killer. Well, cool. That's great.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's pick another one here.
All right. Let's see if some more racist.
We had fun with that. It was good. Any?
That was.
Oh shit! Another black joke.
Of course. Alden. No.
All right, Alden, our producer. So, okay, black equals Democrat. Okay, like, dude, what's up with the plantation? Like, can't you get off the plantation? I'm just wondering, like, what's up with that? Like, how do the people who enslaved black people get to own the black vote?
Right.
And how do black people that know that the slave owners own their asses vote for the people that are the slave owners?
Well, here's the thing. You vote for anyone, they're going to be white, except for Obama, who's half white. So all this, it doesn't matter where they stand. It's still the slave owner.
No, but you got Pocahontas and all, you know.
Right.
Kamala harassment or whatever her name is. Kamala.
First black, what was it Indian or something?
We got Obama.
He's half.
And he didn't do shit for the black people.
Yeah, he didn't.
So it's like, dude, what is up with that?
It's a white-run system.
It's a one-run, so that has nothing to do with Republicans and Democrats because they're both white.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like, so what's up with black equals Democrat? Like, look, Lenin Tree had it right when their slogan is when banks compete, you win. I'm like, so I'm thinking to myself, like, when parties compete, you win. So like,
sure.
For 40 years, black people have voted for Democrats that were the slave owners, and Republicans were fighting to abolish that. And they're like, somehow, with policies and handouts, like they've kept people on the plantation, the Democrats.
Exactly.
But did you notice that? Does it occur to you?
Well, yeah. I mean, as someone, right, who doesn't really care for all that, but just trying to get in the handouts. But yeah, it's the whole notion of like, we still need the master, still need someone to give us something. And that's probably how they kept them. I'm not a historian, so. You know what I mean? But just that psychology of it, right? So you have a system where, I found out the other day that the school systems are funded by the housing taxes, right? So in a low-income neighborhood, you have low-income schools.
Right.
So if people aren't having the education to leave and they're constantly needing the government handouts, was it something else too, where something about the fathers leaving a lot more after some sort of, was it welfare check or something came in, actually devastated?
No, it's absolutely true. Yeah, the policies incentivize the fathers being out of the household, and kids growing up without a father, and that creates more problems for them to ever get up in the world, and it perpetuates the cycle.
Yep.
And I'm like, I was listening to a Malcolm X talk, and by the way, if anybody wants this, I can put it in the comments, a link. It's remarkable. Malcolm X literally giving a talk about the difference between a conservative white person and a Democrat, like Republican, Democrat differ in one way.
Wow.
The liberals are more cunning, and they use the black person to befriend them.
Yep.
To keep the people poor, keep them down.
Yep.
And that was Malcolm X talking. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't people listen to Malcolm X? Like, what's up with that? Like, why does a white guy gotta figure this shit out? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Baffling to me, just baffling. I mean, like, I don't get it.
Because what was it, Kamala Harris? And I think there was, whenever I've seen, and again, I don't watch politics much, but whenever I've seen like a black person go on stage, like for some Republican or Democrat, whatever, I'm like, they're just using them.
Yeah, it's totally used. They paid and,
And I don't blame the black person for going up because they probably got paid a lot.
But the Democrats know how to, like the activists, they know how to like organize, right? So they like they have the icons, the communities and the church owners and then this and that, and they pay them off and make them roll them in money. And then basically get them to keep the people in the system. Yep. And keep them Democrat. It's like, whoa. Yeah. Like, are people waking up to this?
I think a little bit, slowly but surely,
Have you ever heard of the Blexit movement? Black exit?
No, but I did. Okay. I heard about the blackout thing where a bunch of people stopped. It was, that was very recent. I forget what day it was. I remember it was actually part of the Facebook group too. They're like, okay, for like 2-3 days, black people don't buy anything. And like, I think the stock market went down a little bit or something at that point. Yeah.
Just, what they should have done if they were smart is like, short the stock market and then not buy anything.
Right.
At least make money on it.
I'm sure some people did.
They need some advice from a Jew, I think. That's right.
See, we all need to help each other.
Exactly.
Make money.
That's what I'm telling you. I could have
take
told
from
him.
the white man.
We could have bought some puts. I love it. That's
1-800 call a Jew.
Call a Jew. Let's eat a bagel here. All right. Yeah. What do you got?
Probably something racist.
Oh yeah, probably is.
Oh no, voting. Huh?
I thought we covered voting. Did we not cover? Is this a different topic?
Voting. This was more of my controversial stance on voting and the notion of sorry.
Yeah, do you have a controversial stance on voting that's different from electronic voting?
I think I do. I think
let's do it.
Yes. So for me, right, the idea of voting, should I paint the picture or like kind of cut to the point and then kind of elaborate? What do you think? How should we feel?
No, just cut to the point. Let's play with it. Let's play with the point. Then we can elaborate the point.
Point being, if all you're saying...
Like drop the bomb.
Boom,
yeah,
right?
Drop it.
If the only power I have is to fill in some blanks, right, and some bubbles and stuff, and if I'm spending hours and hours of my time figuring out which things I want to vote for, and some idiot kid who's 18, snot-nosed, just got out of his shift of Del Taco, can have the same power of a vote and cancel out mine, I'm like, there's got to be more power than that. That's just not enough. And say, look, with all the be woke and da-da-da, all I can do is vote. Like, all I can do... there's more. There's got to be more. So...
Okay, in other words, ignorant lives don't matter.
Exactly.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, like ignorant people.
Do you want the village idiot like running your household?
But aren't you like informed on like 10 issue and then in a village idiot on like everything else? I mean, truth, you can't know everything.
Exactly.
Like, look at you're gonna vote in California, the Prop A, Prop 15, Prop 25.
Yes, I'm Prop 22.
Who the hell knows? Who knows what it means? You know, like.
Right.
So most people are like ignorant on that shit.
Yep. And they just okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny, right? We take this notion of everyone help one person at a time. You're one drop in the bucket. Maybe we can all come together and make a difference. Like that's the bullshit told by people who they don't do one drop at a time. They do half of an ocean at a time or something. Trump can tweet one thing and can indirectly affect 1 billion people, whether they agree or not. That's not one drop in the bucket.
Right.
So if they're trying to say only have one drop, only one vote, only one little thing, I'm like, let's find a way to impact.
All right, so let me give you my solution to that problem.
Go for it.
I always thought that I agree with you in a way that ignorant people, some of them got no business voting. They don't know shit. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
So I always thought to myself, and for some people I know, one issue voters, why'd you vote for Obama? He's black.
Right.
And I know some of those people, he's black, it's progress. Right. I'm like, yeah, but does it matter if he's smart? Well, yeah, but he's smart, but he's black. Mm-hmm. Okay, but what if his policies suck? Doesn't matter, he's black. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now I know, now I get it. And it's okay because everybody's entitled to be a one issue voter.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are multiple issue voters, but they're not every issue voter. Nobody's an every issue voter because if everything's an emergency, nothing's an emergency. The shit that's important to you, the shit that's important to you is what's important to you, and everything else you'll kind of get on in the world and everything will be fine. Right? Yeah. So I kind of feel like you got 100 chips.
Yeah.
And you get to put them all on your favorite issues.
Yep.
And vote on issues. And that dictates outcomes on issues.
Yeah.
Rather than just the person and then giving a person complete authority to be corrupted later by lobbyists and foreign
money.
Yeah, money and foreign forces, right? Power and all that stuff.
Money.
Right.
Yeah. I think we should bring
and so
back
then it gets rid of the ignorance because the people who are informed on issues and find it important are the ones voting in those issues.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should bring back some sort of gladiatorial combat, some sort of Hunger Games type of thing with this type of stuff. Maybe the people who survive could actually vote, I mean, I'm not
survive
saying,
what?
I don't know,
COVID?
Some trials, COVID, right? Just
I always thought, they keep
like,
bitching, the liberals keep bitching the Republicans don't wear masks and stuff. I'm like, why? I'm like, if they don't want
Constitution.
Yeah, but it's dude, if the Republicans don't wear masks, then more of them will die. So if less votes for you, less votes for them. That's good. Why are you bitching about that? I don't get it.
It's funny that they say Republicans don't, because it probably meant 3 people who said they were Republican, and then they're like, oh, all Republicans. You're and exacerbating it. Just No. I heard one sort of side note of I guess 2 people who were going to get into a fight when COVID was breaking out, and the guy coughed on his hand. He's like, "Come on, man," COVID punching the guy.
Yeah, they do that. They still do that. People,
nice.
Except people get arrested. They still do that. You didn't know that? People get arrested for coughing on somebody now.
Wow.
You didn't know that? It's happening. People will they'll like run naked in grocery stores and be like, I got COVID, and like cough on some old lady, and the next thing you know, they're getting arrested by the police. It's crazy town.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like, you know, grandma's on the floor, like, I've fallen and I can't get up, and she's...
I've fallen with the COVID.
Exactly. It's crazy, right? You know, people are like coughing on vegetables at the grocery store to mess with people. Like, that's bad news, but...
You should get, you know, shanked even before COVID. Like, don't cough on... You hear about, like, the people licking, like, the shelves?
So let's say, Leah,
like, they should get some disease for licking a shelf.
Okay, so, like, we're at a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
There's, like, a couple white guys with the name tag on it because they work there, right?
Probably all, like, Dave or Steve.
Yeah, Dave or Steve. And they're walking, they're working in the vegetable section, and, like, there's some dude or woman coughing on stuff, and the white guys are like, don't do that, right?
So white guy's probably racist, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And I didn't say it was a black person coughing.
It didn't have to be black. They're just racist.
It's just racist. Okay,
they called out someone.
Yeah, they called them
That's
out.
how it works.
Right, it's racist.
White people shut up.
So yeah, but then now there's like two big buff black dudes. Mm-hmm. You think people are coughing on shit? They're not like, no, I ain't fucking with that. Like, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Right.
So like, there are times when race actually plays. There's a benefit.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you get a big black dude in the right circumstance.
You're like dark as midnight.
You're not messing with that.
Teeth,
right?
eyes, muscle. Yeah,
you're right. You just see the shiny teeth glowing in the night, right? You're like,
right?
Oh hell no, that's what you're saying. Exactly.
But see, if people stop killing people for being whatever, then we can all just keep joking like this. And like,
Exactly. See, I never had a problem with that level of black superiority. I didn't look at that situation like, we're inferior.
Yeah.
We can't scare people like that.
It's great. So many times, like, the lights went
Casper
out.
never did it. It wasn't like, Casper showed up. Oh, fuck, we're all out of here.
I used to love freaking out my friends where I'd close my eyes and it'd be dark, and then I like just open my eyes and my teeth, and they just see the white and be like, ah, it's fun. You know, I had the race card, so I played it all the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So
it's good you had good friends.
I did.
I love it. Where'd you go to school?
A lot of different ones, but I grew up in like Chino Hills, Southern California, moved around quite a bit. So yeah.
Was it diverse?
I was around a bunch of diverse people.
Okay.
I was so blessed to live on a street where we had a family from Ghana, from China, from Mexico, from the Philippines, from India.
Oh man, that was like Baskin Robbins.
Basically.
Yeah, 31 flavors. Yeah, 31 flavors over there.
All of them fruity.
Okay, exactly. All the fruit flavors over there, exactly.
Only one weird guy, but he was...
And you always got to have the weird guy, like the token weird guy on the block.
You know, he was older, he was white, he had a developmental disorder bit. So.
But so you didn't necessarily grow up feeling like black was different there in your neighborhood? Because you weren't different any more different than everyone else was different, because everybody's different.
Mm-hmm. In fact, 7th, 8th grade, I had only Asian friends. I can tell you the difference between Chinese, Filipino, Japanese, just Korean. Not at all Korean, but yeah.
No kidding.
In fact, I felt more comfortable around that than at my church of all black people. I was like, oh, there's too many black people.
So we got to unpack that shit. So like, what's up with that? Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, for real.
It's an interesting thing. Like, a white person would never understand this, so you have to explain.
I will explain.
Yes, good.
Right, so it's like actually, a white person would explain this, right? I mean, would understand this. Think of the movie Mean Girls, right? You have the main character.
Because every white guy's watching Mean Girls.
Of course, right? You know,
is that right after like Legally Blonde or something? Like, okay, got it.
But it's a Lindsay Lohan, white girl, like redhead, right, freckles and everything. But she grew up in South Africa around black people all the time. She's used to that culture, the friendliness and everything. She comes to America, and it's, again, America white, and she's just so out of place. People look like her, but they don't act like her. They don't feel like her. They don't talk like her.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
So that was more of my experience, you know.
So you grew up white?
I grew up pretty white.
Okay. Yeah.
You hear how I talk, right?
Yeah, no, I do, but I can't say it. But you said it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, it's good.
Yeah. So, but it's like, because then the other thing too, right, with being black is part of it is, at least for me, is I felt a little bit like there's an expectation.
There's a culture though, right?
Exactly.
There's
and I
like,
didn't fit in that culture.
because there's Jewish culture and there's Jewish faith, and they're different. Like, there's an essence to Judaism that's very like cultural.
Right.
And you know it when you see it.
Gotcha.
Because like I eat a bagel every morning still, and no shame. I love my bagels.
Oh yeah.
Love my bagels.
I went to a church that was African Jew, Nigerian Jew. He like was a pastor there.
What?
Yeah. So he and his wife.
That's like peanut butter and salamander or something like that. I'm like, what? Did you just say that?
They're from Igbo tribe. They're Nigerian Jews. They actually. So they brought in a lot of that culture and stuff. So I went to that church for years. So like. And I think I'm an unconfirmed, partially Jewish as well, but I haven't done DNA testing.
Okay, fascinating.
But, yeah.
Well, have a Nagila, baby. Yeah.
You know, so still need to work on practicing Shabbat and stuff. But so it's Where was I going with all that?
You would black dude in a black church feeling weird.
Right, so actually there I feel really comfortable. So it's like...
Okay, completely twisted. You flip like Kamala Harris. I love it. It's great.
Pretty much.
Good.
Because, at the end of the day, it's the skin tone. It's like there's more to a human being than their body. So...
Right.
And we need to figure that one out, right?
So doesn't the identity politics thing just fuck everything up?
Oh, it's retarded.
Right, it's retarded.
It's retarded as hell.
Because I don't look at a person and be like, that's a black dude. Like, I don't really, first of all, I still don't think they're black, so I kind of take issue with it. And two, I don't think I'm white. Am I white?
No, you're not. You're like, you said you're half Jewish and also Iranian?
Iraqi Jew. My mom's side's from Iraq. They left Baghdad.
White thing I've heard.
So for my mom's side, I'm first generation. So it's kind of crazy, right? And so I don't like I'm white. Like, I don't really get it.
What's your dad's side, though?
My dad is like... originally, the Marston name's from England.
Okay.
But he's got part British and part American Indian, so I'm Cherokee, about 1,000 times more than Elizabeth Warren.
Gotcha. Everyone is.
Yeah. It's like, I have a family member with free health insurance because they're a Cherokee background.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So it's kind of cool.
People from Fiji have more Native American in them.
Yeah, so you feel conflict when you talk about what is it, lynching, hangings, and all that. Like, we went through a lot, right? Yeah. And then at Thanksgiving time, I'm like, should I be celebrating right now? They stole our shit. Maybe they should do reparations for us,
dude, part of my ancestors raped another part of my ancestors. Right. They enslaved another ancestor. Yeah, it's all just...
It happened all over the world, that kind of stuff.
It did.
So this race stuff, race baiting, race-based identity politics stuff drives me insane. Yeah. One, because a lot of us are mutts. Oh, yeah. There's so much crossbreeding now, which is great because we're creating these beautiful hybrids. Mm-hmm. Genetically, maybe. Yeah, beautiful. And it's also like killing. The good news is killing the race argument because it's blending so much. Yeah. But it's remarkable how effective it's been in keeping people fighting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was with an Indian friend the other day who was telling me about how the Indian government is a corrupt democracy. It's because democracy can be corrupted.
Yeah.
But the way they keep people from focusing on the corruption of the government is by creating a religious war between the Hindus and the Muslims.
Wow.
They create the wars, the internal fighting. It's easy. While the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yep.
And so oh my God, it's a perfect democratic playbook item because if everybody's fighting over race,
right, then
nobody's getting along, nobody's seeing each other.
And you can keep controlling.
Yeah, they can keep controlling. Mm-hmm. Because they can keep them on the plantation because then be like, everybody's racist, you're a racist mofo, and then nobody wants to hear each other.
Yep. It's just anger.
But we need to hear each other. Otherwise, we're not, so there's more power of the people in breaking through and seeing beyond that and just saying, fuck that, I'm going to hear you. Yeah. I'm going to see you.
Yeah. Actually uniting, coming together. Having sympathy where empathy can't meet.
Well, you realize that we all have more unitive traits than distinctive traits at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like everybody, at some moment, everybody's had pain. And whether that pain originates from ties to slavery or racism.
Lincoln biting your ankle or whatever.
Yeah. Dog bites, whatever it is.
Right. Lincoln's a dog, not a human being. Well, he was, but that's the whole thing.
Yeah, Lincoln.
But that dog wasn't a human. It just,
He just barks at black people.
He just barks at black people.
Yeah, why does that happen, by the way?
Because all they see is eyes and teeth.
Okay, got it.
They're racist.
Racist freaking dogs. It's ridiculous. All right. Did you do this? Your turn?
Why not?
I didn't have to pick your topic.
White jokes.
Oh, shit. Just when you thought you had enough.
Sensitivity and unity and talking.
Cancel this. Oh, shit. I think we're canceling Uncle Ben now. It's getting too far into the show. I love it.
Oh, man. White jokes, though. I don't really have any white jokes, just white commentary.
Yeah. White commentary. Give me some white commentary.
Man, the amount of mayonnaise they eat is disgusting.
Wait, who eats mayonnaise?
White people. I know.
I don't know any white person that eats mayonnaise. That's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, all of them do.
Like fat.
Except for my wife. She's
Jabba
great.
the Hutt. What? Well, come on.
Except my wife. She's great. But oh my gosh, there was literally someone I was living with. Sweet, wonderful lady. But she had mayonnaise on everything. Was slathered on. That is just some nasty shit. Oh, God.
It is nasty. What is that made of? Like recycled snot or something? Like, what is that?
I'm pretty sure they dunk it in the toilet a little bit too. And then they're like, let's add some glue for some white color. And,
it's got a little mold on it. I mean, I don't know what that stuff is made of. But
here's something funny I realized. Really, here's more controversial, whatever.
Okay.
Or insightful. White people. Insightful, controversial.
I'll let you know afterwards. I'm all right.
I realized, discovered something. White people innately, not all of them, innately don't have a connection to the earth. That's why they can't dance. They don't know the rhythm. They can't.
White people. I thought white guys can't jump. Now you're telling me they can't dance.
They can't dance.
I used to ballroom dance, but I'm not white, so it doesn't matter.
See, exactly. You're like part Jew.
Exactly.
This is Jewish side, is it? No, the Iraqi, right? Middle Eastern. See, you guys can dance.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we got rhythm.
Oh, you guys got a lot of rhythm.
Yeah.
A lot of dance. Because there's this innate, like when it comes to the music, it sucks until they stole the African beats, put it in. Oh, now they're great at it, right? The food was terrible. You ever have British food? Terrible.
Yeah, British food is bad. Yeah,
oh my gosh. What was it? Trevor Noah's joke about like the food was so bad that men risked their lives and dying to go around the world to get spices, just to flavor their food.
Just to get some flavors. That's awesome. That's great.
You know what I mean? There is so much. What else is it? The music sucks. The culture sucks. I mean, American culture, white American culture is all about convenience. That is their culture. If it's inconvenient, Karen comes out, right? If it's convenient, then it's like, oh, we like this.
You want to unpack Karen? Does everybody know?
God. Does everyone know what a Karen? We all know a Karen.
Yeah, but just unpack it. Unpack a Karen.
Sure, a Karen.
Like pop a Karen out of the box. Like, hey, Karen.
It's great. A Karen generally started from an older white lady who pretty much didn't have any skills or economic value, that felt entitled and felt like if something was inconvenient, she needed to talk to the manager to get things done.
Oh, I got it.
Talk to the owner.
So, because all I know is like Chrissy Whitefoot, Lighthead, whatever that crazy woman, the alien-looking woman from Chicago. Yeah. She called she keeps calling people Karen on social media. I'm like, is everyone a Karen? Like, jeez.
Have you heard of the Karen Act? It starts with a C. It's if anyone calls to like break up, essentially like, oh, black people are having fun, but I'm scared. Like I'm calling the cops on them. Like that person can get fined.
Oh no!
It's called the Karen Act. Yeah. Stop Karens.
Oh, that is funny. Mm-hmm. That's clever. Mm-hmm. Any more good white commentary?
Oh man, let's keep it going.
Keep it going. I love it.
See, where was it?
What do you observe about like white people or white culture?
The conveniences. Make sure my parents-in-law never see this.
You've seen it all. You grew up in a diverse. We could always do like Asian commentary.
We'll go through it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about black people too. Everyone got their problems.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right? So like white people are generally going back to the sensitivity in a bad way. So like they're not going to say black, right? Ever, unless they're like slightly drunk or something.
Yeah. What are they going to say? African American.
Which is apparently a legal term to actually not use.
But that's not even. That's like most of the time not even accurate.
Right.
It's like, how do you fucking know? Like, where the hell did they come from? What you didn't ask them?
I came from Detroit.
Why did you freaking ask them first before you like assume? Like, don't put them on African continent. Like,
right.
Like, how do you know?
Like they could be African.
From Barbados or something.
Exactly.
Like, I know a lot of people like that are from everywhere. Like
Jamaica.
Yeah, you name it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fiji and yeah. And again, if they're from South Africa and they're white, they're African American here.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't even get it. I don't even get that.
It's in legal terms, yada, yada, go black. So.
What were we talking about again?
Represent. We're talking about white people. So.
Yeah, white people. Yeah, that's right. Let's pick on white people.
What else? So like, how much of the culture is just about, again, convenience?
Oh, convenience. Yeah, that makes sense though, right?
Yeah.
But is it not that for black people?
What's convenient about for black people?
Nothing's convenient. Okay, well,
No, we got like, soul food. We got like good music.
Yeah,
we got like
true.
Dancing. Like
you got big butts
art.
And you cannot lie. Come on, you got a lot of big butts.
Thank you,
right?
Jesus. No.
Thank you, Jesus. You got Jesus, right?
Thank you, Jesus. Right, big butts. Actually, there are a lot of white people with big butts too. You're just like, that's not a race thing. That's across the board.
Is it?
All body types across the board.
Okay, that was you went PC again. You're like, oh no, everybody's got big butts. It's fine.
I didn't mean go PC. It's more of like you got a certain.
I don't know. There was a song like "It's all about the bass." Isn't she talking about the back?
She's talking about her fat. She didn't lose weight. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Okay.
Like you can be beautiful and be fat, but lose some weight. Like for health reasons. Like seriously, it's a health issue.
She's a well-rounded woman. Leave her alone.
Yeah, and she's gonna die earlier if she keeps Run a mile or something. Get some exercise on that heart.
Everybody defines success differently.
Apparently, I'm huge, right? So
that's huge.
the whole body dysmorphia thing, like, there's health reasons. Just, anyway,
Okay.
I'm on a Facebook group called The Fats Are At It Again. It's hilarious. But
It's comedy, right? It's comedy?
total comedy.
It's called The Fats Are At It Again. Are there any fats in the group?
Actually.
Okay, they are.
Some fat people. And
because they self-identify or because they think it's funny?
they think it's funny.
Okay, got it. Okay.
You know, it's like, okay, you know, the poors are at it again is another group. The blacks are at it. The whites are, you know, just
Really?
like, yeah, there's all this. You want to see some fucked up shit on Facebook? You're like, how is this on there? Like, yeah, it's
Yeah, how do they not censor that?
right. And then you put anything with Hitler on it, like just a picture of Hitler. It could be like, why are people keep coming back and trying to kill me? I'm just a painter, right? Hitler. Facebook will like, you know, boot you off for a week. They just don't like Hitler. Go figure.
They don't like Hitler, but like if the blacks are at it again, they're like, yeah, the blacks are at it again.
Right.
Like, and it's a looting page. I mean, who knows? I mean, like, what is
Oh, there's some messed up. It's just great.
so messed up. I love it. Okay. What are we cycling through? Asians.
I think Asians, right? Oh
Yeah,
man,
come
Asians
on.
are so racist. It's great.
Asians are racist,
They are
aren't
so
they?
racist.
Like, people
They're
think whites are
unashamed about
racist.
it.
Fuck the white people.
know,
They're
right?
racist. Asian.
Yeah, because Asians didn't colonize the world. People are okay with it.
Yeah,
So like,
that's true.
they
Right?
don't like black
That's-
people. They don't like something. They will tell you to their face.
Will they?
Well, at least my friend told me like, hey, can you not act? He didn't say so black, but basically saying act so black because my parents don't really like the stereotype or whatever. Like it was because you know, right? They see.
They told you to act less black.
Yes, basically.
Did they know that you were? Did they already know that you were like 50% act black already?
Right.
Like in terms of personality and the way you talk?
Like no, like tone down the jokes, tone down the whatever. I'm like, what the hell?
Really?
This was when I was in junior high as well. Because rush hour, right? You see, did you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Right? And then you have, you know, what's his face? Jackie Chan. So like that's the perception of black man's loud, crazy, obnoxious, unrefined, whatever. Like, yeah. That's the thing, like that's the thing a lot of white people don't get. We like black people couldn't just go anywhere and be successful because of all the stereotypes. Anyway.
Right. Fascinating. Yeah,
So-
so there's like a lot of racism coming from everywhere.
Yep.
And it's not just white people.
It's not just white people.
But the way it's like there's a lot of anger towards from blacks to whites because it's like there's like
slavery.
that's it. Like,
Epigenetics,
So you're
yeah.
like, yeah, you Asian racist people, but you don't matter because you didn't enslave me.
I was in your property, I'll let you slide.
Like, finally, it makes sense. I had no idea that's what it was. That's great. It
All goes back to
it's like,
slavery.
I think we have like a bunch of enlightened white people right now that are like, now I get it.
Yep.
Okay,
If you
great.
didn't own us, we don't have a problem.
You have a
with
problem.
you.
Even if you racist.
Right, we're less of
Okay.
a problem. So, yeah.
Who knew? That's too funny. Okay, let's pick another one.
All right. Oh, yeah. Well, we're on white jokes. Should we do
Oh,
like,
yeah, you got more? White jokes.
more white commentary? What else besides the mayonnaise, the convenience? Mayonnaise is bad, guys. It's bad. The flavorless food. You ever see a group of white kids trying to dance? It's so sad.
It's so sad, is it?
So sad.
It's so sad, huh?
Because they're passionate and they're just like,
They try so hard, right?
and they're just like, you know, and it's like the one who's a little more adventurous to like go in front of his friends and do some weird, and you're just like,
And you're like, oh, no, you didn't.
I just want to pour bleach in my eyes, like let me,
You won't get COVID.
right? Just, I get COVID looking at him, like that's,
Okay, white people dancing.
It generally sucks. I mean, okay, all right. So even the white people who can dance, you look at like ballroom. I did study ballroom a little bit. I messed that.
Look at that.
I studied ballroom a little bit. Yeah, with my wife and I actually know swing dancing and stuff.
Oh, I love it. That's West, East, what kind of style? East Coast style? West Coast?
More East Coast.
Okay, good.
I did a little bit of West Coast, but because I'm
It's a
black, I can like
completely-
actually do it. So there's some perks, man.
That's great. I love it. That's great.
But if you look at like waltz, right, and you look at even tango and other stuff,
Yeah.
it's more rigid, it's more formal, it's very rule based, and then you look at West Coast swing, you look at all like what you call it? I want to say like the jitterbug. That's old. Basically, you can have a new song, a black dance comes out. It could be the Cupid Shuffle, right? If you heard of that, right? There's basically two sort of positions. You do the same thing over and over, but it's so funky and fresh, and there's this energy to it. There's this movement to it.
It's not the Macarena, that's for sure.
Macarena. That's Mexicans trying to appeal to white people so they can sell albums. So like,
That's great.
so It's that whole Americanizing thing culture, right? Like we had Panda Express earlier, right? They say this is Chinese food. We know this ain't Chinese food. This is fried chicken. This is sugar chicken fried.
Yeah, that's right.
There's nothing
That's
Chinese
right.
about it.
It's it's like bacon strips for white people, man. And white people don't know it's not Chinese food. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like I've had dim sum. I've had chicken
Right.
feet. I've had the dumpling. Like
You had
that's-
chicken feet?
I've had chicken feet. I've regretted that, but mushy as hell and just
That's
bones.
just nasty.
It's nasty. But that's more Chinese food. Obviously not all of it, but like, you know.
Did you get between the toes and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
making
yeah.
Sure, making sure you get the jam. The toe jam is the best
All
part.
the mush. Oh, God.
I got
But
it.
I was with my Asian friends, you know. Like, let's get dim
cool.
sum. Like, okay, let's get dim sum.
You didn't kiss her after, did you?
What?
That's just saying.
Some chicken feet, baby. God, that just... Anyway. Again, with... it's like we have this, like, the Americanized thing is really a white people's version. It's like tourism, right? Like this idea of let me have a little bit of your culture, but not too much of your culture, so I don't have to, like, really leave my culture, but I can feel...
What's that?
Like the convenient, right? Like I want a convenient portion of your culture.
Oh, I got
I'm
it.
comfortable with.
I got it.
It's the tourism, it's the
Okay.
Americanization, it's the versus, hey, let me go into your culture and disassociate
it.
from what I have.
Well,
Yeah.
because you can go right down to the street in your nice fancy white suburb and get a Panda Express.
Exactly.
So you don't actually have to go to Chinatown
Exactly.
to experience real culture.
Exactly.
That's why it's bacon strips for white people.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. So it's that.
Okay.
Right on one hand, they're obviously great at organizing and everything. Let me just cut that off for a second.
Detour.
So there was a guy who's selling these shirts that say aliens don't like white people.
I had no idea.
And he pointed out, like, was it the mysterious aliens, the whole, where they go around the world and look into archaeological stuff, archaeological sites, and they're looking at, holy places. And it's funny, every time they go, like, when they look at Stonehenge and everything, they're like, oh, this is interesting, yada, yada. But they go to the Mayans.
Who, the aliens or the white people?
The white people.
Okay, got it, the white
These
people.
archaeologists who
Okay, yeah, got
are
it.
basically, paid thieves, but that's a whole other thing, right? So how does white people steal something? They have a committee, they draft a paperwork, and then they go to the police to take it. So anyway, they're going to these archaeological sites, and they are they're saying these things of like, look at how the architecture and the engineering of this. Clearly, this was beyond the primitive nature of these people. Like they've had to have alien influence.
Right.
And they say that over and over and over, as if people who are not white couldn't think to themselves, hey, develop their own mathematical system, couldn't develop their own way of building, engineering structures, and maybe just did it themselves. They had to have outside influence. And so the guy was like, okay, so you have all of these sites or whatever, right? Like all these amazing pyramids and yada, yada. Either on one hand, maybe these people, these archaeologists are just innately racist, thinking, oh, white people, of course, we know engineering are better. Or two, aliens just don't like white people. So they completely ignore the white people and like, because all white people have are Stonehenge and something else in the UK versus...
Not much, huh?
Right. Versus Easter Island heads. And
So no wonder they got to complain about it. I get it. It's landing. It's landing. Any more white jokes?
I mean, I can go on for a while, but we should probably, we can roll
Get to
for
the
it.
next one?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll roll. We'll see what's in here.
And then we can do like
We're doing, yeah?
Asian, black, we can
Oh,
balance
yeah, we
it
can
out.
work through the rest. Yeah.
We offend everyone equally.
Well, yeah, I don't know a lot of white people that have like a lot of black jokes because that wouldn't go over well.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. They get killed.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Affirmative action.
Affirmative action.
Oh, shit. Apparently it's Black Night.
It is black.
So, like, first of all, like, affirmative action.
Yep.
Legal racism.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Glad we covered
But-
that. Okay, and affirmative
I get
action. Affirmative action isn't really affirmative action because it isn't really about minorities. Because they use the word minorities,
Which is hilarious.
which is hilarious because actually they discriminate actively against some minorities. Under affirmative action, they discriminate against Asians, for instance.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? All the universities are actively discriminating against Chinese people.
Dang.
Because they they ace the test, man. They spend their life taking tests to get
entire
in,
lives,
right?
yeah.
And so, like, if they did it on total merit, even though they were legitimately minorities,
Yeah.
it wouldn't balance out. So they actively have a lower proportion of Asians that get in. So they might as well, shouldn't they just call it like racism against white people in favor of black people? Like, it's not really affirmative action. It's just being racist against everyone else in favor of black people.
Well, it goes back to the whole, like, the
It's a
housing
form
taxes.
of reparations. What do you mean? No, what do you mean? Why
Housing
isn't it?
taxes. housing taxes, right, to the educational system growing up. So if you're in a low income, right, low income education. So if in that particular systemic type of racism, basically you have the black people and the poor people not being able to even qualify because they don't know nothing because they're not really taught to be how to advance through this system.
No doubt. No doubt.
So like on one hand, yes, there's a tiny bit. I would say yes, reparations a little bit, but because it's almost like the odds are so stacked against their favor to begin with.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, yeah, I'm not
that
saying
is reparations. That's the definition. You're repairing. There's a lot of ways to fix it, right? And like, where at what point are you going to fix it? Well, you know, and they're kind of fucked from the beginning. But if they made it to the college level and they're still trying, unfuck it there.
So it's not a holistic solution.
It's not a holistic solution.
And that's the problem.
But the way it's implemented, it's sort of, it's a misnomer because they call it affirmative action, but truthfully, it really is helping black people, you know, which is fine, get up because they're in a circumstance, even though it actively discriminates against other minorities, which they don't say that because they're trying to couch it, because it's just like this too real to like call it out for what it is. It you know, just I don't know why people just like, why doesn't that conversation come up? It's like,
because you know who devised it? White people.
Yeah. That's right. You're right.
Like, oh,
Democrats,
exactly.
Who do got to keep their people back on the plantation.
Keep the black vote.
Yes. Affirmative action. Yes, exactly.
It's just more manipulation. Yeah.
Well, because I know Chinese people are pissed, you know, like, you know, but they don't say that shit to you in English, man. They're like on their Chinese blogs and shit. They're like, like that fucking bullshit. That's how they sound. I don't speak Chinese. Well, sure, you didn't hanyu. I only speak a little bit, but
Ni hao and wait, ni hao ni hao ma.
Not enough to mock them mocking us.
Right.
In Chinese on their Chinese blogs. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
My brother actually was taking Chinese once.
So let me say, does that really help?
What does?
I think affirmative action hurts.
I think ultimately, yes. So, short-term Band-Aids to a big wound.
Exactly, right? I mean, because if you're in a meritocratic society and you don't fix the problem, because admittedly it's a Band-Aid. Yeah. It's like you said, it didn't make the black people more qualified to get in. It just gave them a free leg up. Or free or a lesser standard or whatever. And I hear from people that perceive that as if society continues to look at black people that went to college as products of affirmative action, they're never going to respect them the same way. And so ultimately it didn't solve the problem, and it still facilitates either resentment or some form of racism or feeling of inferiority of the black man. So I'm thinking, why would we ever do dumb shit like that if it doesn't solve the problem? Like, I don't even get it. And then, like, how do you distinguish between, like, the black guy that actually had the merit to get in, because some of them did? Right? Like, not everybody is a product of the village. So, like, completely, like, as a non-white person, I just completely baffled about why they think that solves the problem.
Because it's just enough to look good and just enough to, again, get them to vote Democrat. So,
well, for like 40 years, like it's a long time for getting nothing in return, and then be like, I'm still voting for him. You're like,
see, the problem is, why don't you just help the black kids and the Mexican kids are dumb to not be dumb? So they're smart kids, even if they go to college, they're smart.
That's what I'm telling you. Kids be school smart. Choice, like let them go to a better school, you know, and stuff like. And we know why they can't. That's a whole different topic. But
But see, then this also goes to media as well, right? I remember seeing. The number of talent shows, the number of educational shows they have in, like, was it China and Korea and Japan? Like, the idea of, like, making the kids smarter versus here, right? Cartoons are retarded. They're not even good anymore. They're just retarded.
The cartoons suck, man. We used to have, like, the Muppet Show and those two, like, grumpy old racist men in the white men in the balcony.
Right.
They used to comment on everything. You're like, well, like, you can get away with half of that shit. Right? It's like, all we got is, like, Baby Shark do. Right? Like, I mean, like, it went downhill with, like, SpongeBob and Teletubbies and stuff, because I'm like, oh no, really? And like, but Bugs Bunny, man, those were the days, right?
Good stuff.
They didn't even have to say anything, like meep meep, like it was like, it was perfect. That's all I needed.
What was the? I was thinking the other day, just a little bit too. Right. All right. So babies, right, have the most neuroplasticity when they're younger. Why are they taught the cow goes moo and the duck goes quack? Like, they could just, here's a picture of a duck. You hear it quack. Move on to the next lesson. Like. Learn something.
Well, I gotta tell, I gotta tell you that So we have a new dog, and the dog we play with a baby. We have a baby, and they're listening to this. She's listening to the same cartoons all day.
Of course.
Because she loves it. She just demands it.
Yeah.
And it's the same crap that plays over and over again. It drives us nuts.
Yeah.
And we found the dog. We thought we lost the dog. We're like, where's our dog? The dog is like, the dog literally went up to the opposite side of the house, hiding in a corner where it was quiet. Like, we didn't have to hear that shit over and over again. And I realized in empathy, that a prison guards actually got charged with a misdemeanor for playing day and night in the prison, Baby Shark do over and over again for days. It was called inhumane punishment, and they got charged. And like, no wonder, like if kids songs played over and over again are a misdemeanor, well, no wonder our dog left.
Right.
Like, that's crazy. Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So it's like, was it in Native Americans, right? It used to be about the age 5, they start learning the craft of their father, right? It's the men. Like, why don't we bring stuff like that? There's a reason why age 13, right? Jewish community, you're a man, you used to have like, I'm assuming, right? You would be able to get married, have a house, really start to develop that, right? At age 13. But we're not teaching our kids to actually think at that level at that age. We're like, oh, they're 18, they don't know what they're doing. It's okay, go to college. You know what I mean? There's this.
Yeah.
Again, that kind of goes back to why people think of like, this is convenient for you right now. Just keep it convenient. We have money. It's okay. We have money. So.
No, it's good. It's always good to have a white person rant every once in a while.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
So you want to do, we got a couple more here.
We do? Okay.
All right, let's see. I think we're out of the racial ones, but we might not be out of the woods.
Of course not. Black National Anthem.
Oh, shit. Wait a second. What is the Black National?
I know, right? I was like, are you talking about when Marvin Gaye sang "Oh Say Can You See"? Are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about that shit they played in the NFL games for the first week that they claim was a Black National Anthem. And okay, so they're playing it, and like the black football players are looking at the white guys like, what the fuck is this? What song is that? They're like, I'm kneeling for this. It's not the real anthem. Like this shit, that's the Black National fucking anthem.
Well, I feel a little less bad for not knowing this.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Like, is that anthem. Like if the black people don't know what the national anthem is?
It's like, not the national anthem.
Then white people playing it for black people isn't gonna help.
That's probably what it is. Like, I'm gonna. Okay, so here's the other funny thing about white people, right? But this is like a good, funny thing, and God bless their hearts. So the ones who are trying, right? Again, we're like, we need to take master off of master bedroom. At least they're trying, right? Okay, so here's why.
No, they're pandering. There's a difference.
Here's why I'm like.
Oh, what do you
about
credit for
30
that?
years ago. No, not even. How old was he? Was probably about 30 years ago. My old pastor, who's not Christian now, but at that time he was not.
He's not Christian now?
He is Christian now, but at the time he wasn't. He literally was waiting for the revolution to start, where black people are just going to go and kill white people. They're just going to start slaughtering them because they're fucking sick of it. So what I see now is the white people who are trying, not the ones who are pandering and trying to like profit off of it, but the ones who are actually trying to do something, even if it's misguided and even if it's just based on their own feelings and they're feeling weird and whatever. But because they're trying, I think that's staving off their own like demise. Because at least as a black person, I can see, okay, this white person, they're trying, they don't have empathy, but they're trying to come out, they're trying.
They're trying. So it's like white looting. They're just trying. Right. But it's clunky. It kind of isn't landing right, but it's cute.
They know there's something's wrong and they're trying to fix it and they're not really fixed, but they know there's something's wrong and they're acknowledging it. Like the white kids who are out in Laguna Beach, like holding up Black Lives Matter signs, right?
Right,
like,
right.
Okay, you're trying. You're not doing anything, but you're trying, It's
but
something.
but life is finite. Like you only got a little bit of it.
Right.
And so like holding up signs is something you're doing with your life really isn't doing it all. It's just bitching.
It's not. Yeah, it is.
Really
but if you're 16, 17 years old, and at least you feel the anger, and you're like, there's something wrong. And that's where it's like, cool, you feel it. Everything else you do afterwards is probably retarded. But at least I realize...
That's good.
At least you feel it. And I know you feel it, and I can respect that.
Dear white people.
Dear White. You should see the show, Dear White People. It's on Netflix.
Dear white people.
But yeah, it's...
Did you see the show?
I saw an episode. I got kind of bored.
Okay, yeah. Why would white people watch Dear White People? I don't get it.
To get some education.
About what?
About
get schooled about white
You're like, what's wrong with us? Let me watch this show.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say, right?
Like, I don't... Like, the ones who don't get it, right? But they're trying to get it. And that's what... It's like... There's only so much you can ask of someone who grew up in around a bunch of rich friends, at a rich church, at a rich da-da-da, but at least they're acknowledging there's more to the world than, oh, I didn't get a PS5 this week. My life, they know their life isn't over.
That's true. People could use a bit of perspective, couldn't they?
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, the snowflakes haven't already melted on the show. Hopefully a couple people got a little perspective.
Right.
And can put it in the comments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because then if you look back far enough with enough perspective, look, if you're able to recognize every ethnicity and the value of it all, then you can say shit like all lives matter. Because you're actually holding them dear in your heart. And not just, I'm offended because you said Black Lives Matter and I feel less than, so I must. No, shut the fuck up and sit down.
Just how about sit down and get to know somebody? Like, go to a fucking petting zoo and, like, pet somebody that looks different than you.
Exactly. What the hell?
What the hell? Oh, what a cute creature. What is that?
Right? All I gotta say too, if a white person really wants to bond with black people, like...
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Because, I know lots of people, but they don't know a lot of black people, naturally. So, what do you do? Go out to black people and then, start randomly asking them, so what's it like being black?
Don't do that.
What'd you eat today? What's your favorite music?
Right.
What? What are you doing?
Don't ask questions. Just be
not cool.
If I tell you this, if a white person, in all sincerity, were to go down to the hood, which is not that dangerous, only at night, but just whatever, and you just say, "I love black people," probably get a positive response.
Is that true?
Yeah. Go to a barbecue and be like, "I love black people. This is awesome." And then to see you're sincere, they invite you in, have the barbecue, feed you some food. They love you. Easily. Because
this show is going to spark a bunch of white people. We want acts of random white love, people. If you're watching the show, we want white people to go to the hood.
Yeah.
Just pick any neighborhood, any street in the hood and yell, "I love black people." Write your comments about how your day went. Write to me.
Because what they're going to say is, "Wow, that crazy
if you got shot at, it's okay." It probably was another white guy. You're like, "What the
fuck?" Don't go and asking questions. Don't go trying to sympathize. And just appreciate, celebrate the culture. And just what you see there, eat the food, you'll love it, just be kind, try to be as warm as you can, and I guarantee you'll be met with so much warmth back. Because that's how it is with people of it's funny, hot versus cold climates, right? People in cold climates have more rigid culture. Warm climates, loving, friendly, more loose structure and everything.
Sure.
They want to share, they want to embrace other people. They love diversity. It's we don't call it diversity, we call it people. So yeah, I'm sure, right, Middle East, you can get that too, right?
Oh yeah, they're very come on in, family, and welcoming. Yeah, sure.
Here's a plate, here's a baby, here's everything.
Yep. Everything. Yeah, the whole shebang, right? Exactly.
In fact, why don't you change the diaper already? You've been here 10 minutes,
It's kind of how it goes, yeah.
Yeah. So you
think a white person can get invited to a random black barbecue?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so they're all right, y'all white people. Dear white people,
and
go to a random black barbecue.
Yeah. And don't be weird. Don't be white.
Weird.
Just be a person.
Just be human.
And enjoy.
So what do they say when they're like, "What are you doing here?" Awkward smile.
Great question.
Insert awkward smile here.
Just be like, you know what? I'm just trying to love you guys. Just want to be a part of community culture and I want to see what's up. That's all. And they'd be like, okay. They test,
Yeah, of course.
You get a little defensive because
they're going to know whether you're a strange white guy or you're just an ignorant white guy that wandered into the hood by accident. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're ignorant, you're fine. If you're strange, you're going to take poo out your butt and start flinging it or some weird...
Right.
Then they're like, okay.
Barbecue this.
I love it. But that's anybody. You don't want just some random whack job coming in, right?
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with culture and ethnicity. It's just to do with your mental state.
I like that. Thanks for the tips.
Yeah.
So the white people could use a little bit of those.
Stop being so serious.
That's good. I took two homeless guys to lunch once. It was good. Rusty and Drifter. I'm not joking.
His name was Drifter.
Laughing.
Nice.
Rusty and Drifter were their names. It was awesome. I got to understand what they go through.
Exactly.
Why they don't care about getting tickets and how they can't get out of their cycle and all that stuff. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does WAP mean? What does
really,
WAP
Alden?
mean?
What does wet ass pussy mean, Alden?
Whoa!
What?
Is that what means?
Good old Cardi B, funded by the Democrats.
Yes, that's true.
You notice how it's red versus blue in political
How
system,
pure.
red versus blue in the gangs as well, Crips and Bloods. Fun fact. So, it's Cardi B's whole whatever, and people say, oh, this is like liberation of sexuality and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just getting people more horny. Like, good God.
That's WAP.
Yeah, that's WAP.
So Cardi B made that like thing.
Yeah, the song doesn't even sound good. Like,
Can you sing it?
No, because she doesn't sing, first off. You can listen to it later if you want.
Oh, no, don't do that. Yeah,
no, that's a copyright issue. Copyright issue. Wait,
yeah,
no.
There you go. Good call on that one. Yeah, wow.
Careful, Jillian.
Wow, what is this? What does this say? That's the last one. Oh my gosh. I think there's a bird nesting in here.
What is my side project, my spiritual one? So we're going to talk about all the shit we said and then go spiritual. Okay.
Wow, we're ending on a spiritual note?
Actually, that's funny because it really
ties in. I guess that's a high
in.
note, even though it's like controversially low.
Right. It actually ties in with literally everything we've talked about, all the negative stuff.
Whoa, tie it together.
It actually does.
Okay.
I honestly want to end and solve world problems. And I'm not going to go in how.
Are we going to meditate like now? Like what's going to go on right here?
Boom, ascend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm crossing my legs.
Where did your shoes go? Okay. He's like, oh, he's crossed his legs. Like.
But even with everything said, all that stuff, like, I'm honestly, going back to the voting, right? That's saying that's your own power. I'm like, our power is significantly greater, significantly higher, right? So, as a Christian, right, connected with Christ, I believe if we connect with the Christ consciousness, ascend to a state of actual unity with enough people, you can intentionally then shift things on the planet. Things of like saying, okay, let's end human trafficking. We want to intentionally wipe the idea of human trafficking of any form out of the consciousness of humanity permanently. And I think with enough people united and wanting to do something like that, it's possible. So then we won't have to have these back and forths about racism, this, that, and the other, and you know, we can just crack all sorts of white jokes and other stuff and just be like, oh, this is just people jokes. It's just culture jokes. Without being so offensive, without being so snowflakey, without...
Right. But so okay, we'll unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
Because I had a guest on a different show, CEO interview, on spiritual psychology.
Nice.
And we were talking about Maslow's hierarchy. We were talking about deeper stuff, but it starts with a hierarchy. And he's like, there's always like, there's like more people down here, and then it goes up to self-actualization, right? And, But there's always going to be that distribution.
Right.
So you're like, are we more evolved? Are like people more evolved as a society now than centuries ago? Probably not. Not really. Like that evolution really didn't shift. So like when we talk about like whether we can, certain people have the privilege to ascend.
Sure.
Because their basic needs are met.
I'll argue privilege, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, okay.
But at least the desire, I would say. Well, okay, going with what you're saying, we'll go back to that.
No, it's fine. Well, there was monkhood, right? Like you could get to a point where you just like leave being poor and you go to like poor as rich, which is being a monk, which is you don't need money anymore.
Sure, there's that.
So you could just focus on ascension up the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Right? But by and large, that's going to be a narrow path. So if society is destined to remain kind of down here fighting about race and politics, then are we shifting the consciousness, or is it just that a certain percentage of us make it up to certain other levels, leaving others behind? And therefore, some of us can rise above it, and most of us will never do that. Yeah.
So I think for those who do rise above it, finding ways to help the people who aren't going to at least make it better. So maybe they're going to fight about race, sex, whatever, Maybe you take the race out of the equation. And so they're still fighting about sex, whatever. But then you take the sex part out of the equation. And then and so like they're still
going to take that out of the equation? Take one thing out of the equation. Like how?
How, right?
Just take one thing and be like, how did you take that out of the equation?
I think that's where, like I said, focusing on thought, meditation, and I'm actually I can say stuff off camera. How about that?
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say on camera.
Okay, got it.
Some thoughts with that. But the point being, the gist of it, just having... So people who are ascending, instead of, you're not just leaving them behind, if you will. You're not just going on the ark and, bye, flood's coming, all dying.
Yeah.
But you're finding ways to influence well beyond, again, in a conscious way, that even if they're not connecting to it, if they don't even know what's going on, but you're still... Here's a great example, right? So our society and everything's shaped by stories. Stories are told in film, media, all that stuff, right? So really the more power comes into stories, not politics. People don't recognize how many stories are running since they were a kid. But people in Hollywood and all that stuff know that. So if you want to shape culture in that way, right? So even if you have them always fighting and squabbling about something stupid, you can effectively control what they're fighting about, what they're actually trying to go for. So think of it.
Governments do that.
So think of it in a positive way.
They create the fights.
They do. So think of the positive side of that, right? So like the negative side is they create the fights, control.
Yeah.
But on the positive side, you can help people, like, again, Chinese education and stuff as like for kids, what they see, you can help them think better, think faster, da-da-da.
Propaganda.
Exactly. But if it's healthy propaganda.
I got it.
If they're going to be a sheep, it's mine to be a smart sheep. Or
not
have the sheep
it's
go.
the Help the Sheeple program.
Exactly. Because I think some people are always going to be sheep, but at least say, don't go off the cliff, stay in the grass, eat. If you get smarter, cool. If not, at least you're not going to be fucked.
Man.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
I get it. Wow, that's crazy.
So that's kind of my side main goal. Side project's more of a main goal, but with everything going towards that. So.
But how do you do it? Like, you got to get into power or something like that, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you after the cameras go off.
Yeah, got it. Now we're going to get deep.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That was good. Any parting white jokes?
Parting white jokes. What was the... I said one earlier.
Yeah, you did.
Damn it. It was a good one. Oh, it was the whole, like, again, how do white people steal something? I'll say it a little bit slower. How does a white person steal something? Or just how do different ethnicities steal something, right?
Yeah,
Let's go with theft, right? So an Asian will probably, dress up in all black, sneak into your house, maybe they'll poison your tea, grab something in the middle of the night, whatever, right? Before you know it, you're dead in the morning. You have a black person, they'll probably smash your window.
Yeah, smash and grab, right?
Pretty
straightforward.
Run in, because they can run, they can hop. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
A Mexican, they'll probably just wait until your garage door is open because you're a white person. You're like, there's nothing wrong with my life, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Go in. A white person, they'll form a committee, they'll draft paperwork, they'll present it to you, get the cops behind it, and you're gone. That's how they legally can take all your land from Native Americans and legally take your, like...
I have a good Chinese joke.
Go for it.
You know what Chinese copyright is, right? Copyright law?
Go for it.
Copy, right?
Right.
Yeah, good. Glad we talked about this.
Copy, paste.
David, are we done? David Dunn?
Yeah.
Look at this.
So.
Look at
we got a Lincoln.
We got a visitor. It's Lincoln.
Nice.
Didn't he own slaves?
Aw.
Oh, Lincoln. Don't worry about it. Reparations are coming.
No, it's okay.
Good.
You're
It's
white.
good.
You'll be
Yeah.
safe.
That's good. It's good. It's good. Are you white? Okay.
One more plug, the movie The Other Guys, they were...
Are you plugging a movie?
I am, it's a hilarious movie. But there's a black cop and a Mexican cop, and they're talking to a bunch of kids, right, in a classroom. And they're telling the kids, like, about being safe and other stuff, and one of them's like, remember, kids, do your absolute best not to be black or Mexican. And then they get a call, to answer some cop thing or whatever. And they're like, all right, kids, pass the gun up, we gotta go.
On that note,
right? Cops, black people. On that note,
exactly. We started and ended with cops and black people.
Yeah.
I think we did this.
I think we did.
Everybody, thanks. We got David Dunn
Thank
here.
you.
Pandora's Box. We're gonna do it again next week.
Sweet.
See you next time.
Yep. Thank you.